Yeah, we're hey, unfiltered. I'm doing better today. I'm actually parked already. I haven't been parked this early in probably a year. Figured I'd try this out since I ain't really got much to post for today. Is it working? I had to connect to the pilot Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. The headset mic helps. It helps a lot. I wish more people would realize that all it takes is a mic. You connect your. It took me forever to get one of these that would pair to StreamYard because StreamYard's really finicky. Oh, oh. Let's see. There's a way that I can multitask. I had this thrown up to my TV because I'm snazzy like that, and Android has this marvelous thing called Smart View, which lets you cast to things without having to have a Wi-Fi connection. It's finicky. LG doesn't really like it sometimes though. That is one thing I've known for years. LG is so finicky when it comes to their uh their things. I guess my YouTube isn't going to show me. Okay, so that's good. We can do this though. Ha, there we go. I get more screen. See something really snazzy? Woo! It's like Inception. It's like being in one of those fun houses where the mirrors go on or make it look like everything goes on forever. If I haven't really messed with my side of StreamYard a lot, mainly everybody else's. Is anybody else killing time? Oh. I started this morning at like 6:30. I've not been on the road driving at 6:30 longer than I haven't been parked by 8. Well, 7:30. You know, you got to do that pre-trip and that initial parking fiasco and going and getting your prime parking slips, which why so many people have trouble with this. I don't understand. You get 50 gallons of fuel, you get a shower token, and you get a parking credit. You just have to go through the app to the rewards website and do all your stuff. Well, I hope you got safe travels and clear roads there, Unfiltered. And I'm still waiting for that damn picture. And I don't mean to bug you about it. Just I want to know that it's holding up because like I've only made like a handful that didn't seem to start unraveling after wearing them a day or two. And I was meaning to ask, did your wife really wear that one on her ankle? Because I think you mentioned that to me, but I never confirmed. Because I never thought about selling them as ankle bracelets for women. So that is a thing. Oh, I gotta get a computer. You save money by getting the big ones. Okay. Does she drive with you? I forget. I'll be honest. I don't pay attention to anybody else's channel other than like James and Will Burners and Josh's. Everybody else seems to like do like the whole never-ending circle of watching everybody else, and that's how the pot gets stirred. I don't follow everyone like everyone else seems to. So most of the stuff everybody else talks about, it's new to me. It's new to me. Oh, oh. I got parked with an hour left on my drive time. I'm just glad I didn't hit traffic. I would have been parked like this a bunch last week, but seems like I'd hit one accident or construction and something. I'm trying to figure out, am I padding my number by being the other person watching other than Will Burner? Or is there somebody else watching? Because I just closed my YouTube and it's still showing two, so hey, maybe I've got another person watching. Which I hit 60. I hit 60 subscribers. It seems to ping pong. Like I'll hit, like when I hit 50, I hit like 54, and then it went back to 50, and then apparently I jumped up to 64, and then I think it went back down to 60. But it seems like nobody comments, but like three people. I get like three people that comment consistently. So I guess that falls into that thing where I said I'm not gonna fish for likes and subscribes. I'm like, hey, you like me, you like me. You don't like me, you don't like me. But comment, people, comment. Come on, flip. There we go. Though I've got my whole GoPro situated figured out. Did anybody watch that video where I showed you how I pull the film off the GoPro onto my phone? I forget the camera's over here. Yeah, that's fun. A USB adapter, a Type C to Type A dongle adapter, and then luckily these phones, once you get into the ones that are more like notes, they act more like tablets almost, which this is the main reason I got the S22 Ultra when I upgraded phones, because I wanted the pen. I wanted the pen because it's almost like having a mouse without having a mouse, which technically I could probably pair a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard to this and then throw it to the TV like I am right now to watch things. And I could almost have a computer, but Android software and desktop software, they don't always mingle. They don't play well. They're like siblings. They don't play well. Uh, where are you headed, Unfiltered? I know you're probably not in my neck of the woods, but heck, it's worth a shot of asking. Let's see if I can make this work. There we go. Make this interesting other than me talking to myself. Maybe I'll have the connection. Oh, do you have a an Ultra or a Samsung instead of Crapple? I don't understand how like people that go to Apple, they're such fanboys. Like people that use Apple are like the guys that buy trucks. People that use Apple are like the mall crawler SEMA builder truck guys. Oh wow. You way over there. Yeah, the farthest west I've been is San Antonio, which is south of just about everything. Not had many mm, not many not much experience west. I've been up and down the eastern seaboard a lot. Not hit many because usually you stay on 81. Oh, good lord! I learned to hate 81 when I was in training. Okay. You see, when the Note 10s came out, I wanted one because of the pen, but that was when I was still working, I think, still working at Amazon. 3 days a week, 12-hour shift was decent money, but still felt like you were living paycheck to paycheck. That I couldn't drop the like $900 on one of those because I was on Straight Talk just because it was so much easier. Because I think what was it, the last handful of years that you didn't have to have like a credit check to get a cell phone plan, or like you could get a month to month cell phone plan without having a contract. See, that was my first, or no, my first Samsung was a six, and I gotta say the six and the seven, or I went six, seven, and then nine. And once they went to the fingerprint on the back, I think that was the best one because you didn't have to worry about these stupid screen protectors interfering with your fingerprint thing. That was my favorite thing about the six and the seven. I think the nine had it too. I think it was the 10 when it went to the screen. Uh-oh, someone's doing a roll call. I'm really trying to figure out a laptop, or I've heard that a lot of people do stuff with the Surface Pros, but I need to look up on those because I know somebody's selling one like cheap, which my girlfriend has a Chromebook that lets you flip it so you can touch on the screen, but it doesn't like any of the softwares that I've tried to look up for editing. I might need to look up the VN. Uh, what is that? It's called VN video, or VN video editing. See if I can't find the thing. This says VN Pro. And then it does a subscription thing, and I'm like, maybe if I was making money with this stuff, I might go to some kind of premium. Oh, another thing is, I found a bunch of YouTube channels that uh posted that they were um uh no copyright, royalty free, safe to use for YouTube, Like the one's called Audio Library, music for content creators. The other one's called Audio Library Plus, official releases, and then royalty-free music, no copyright music. Those are 3 YouTube channels that have music and stuff posted. I'm just gonna have to figure out how to pull the audio off the videos to use, and most of them in their like their page details, like when you hit their name, it says all these are free and safe to use. Just make sure that you credit where you got it, who wrote it, the name of the song, and not to say it's your creation or yours, or to try to edit the actual audio file and then call it yours. So I think I'm going to try that this weekend when I get home with my desktop. Which, heck, if I could have a desktop or a laptop that would let me use non-mobile software, I could just use the YouTube Studio music. That is one thing I do hate about the mobile app of YouTube. You can't get into that editing studio like you're on a desktop when you upload a video. I wouldn't have any issues with audio for that, because that list of songs and music is like 200-300 tracks long. They work great for my RC videos when I just need some kind of background filler, but that's about the only time they're good. I've seen Epidemic. I saw that when I was looking that up earlier when I was finding those. I wish they had like a more than just a 30-day free trial. And I've noticed that I get my videos tagged copyright from the clips from my VN app, but it says that artist allows music on YouTube, so it doesn't hit me like, hey, you're not allowed to use this, take it down. It just says, hey, this is a copyrighted track or sound. So I'm trying to figure out how that works. Though you could also go with Just Truckin's method of using sounds from around you playing in the background. Just make sure that you're breaking up what's coming through by talking through it. No, does copyright hits really matter if you're not monetized? Because from everything I've seen, like, YouTube doesn't do anything to you until you're to the point where you're making money off them or making money for them. Is that you?
What's going on?
Hey, not much. Just sitting here killing time.
So, yeah, don't use that. You're getting the copyrights already. If you ever got monetized, you wouldn't be able to monetize those videos because that's what they're videos.
Hang on.
About one a month or so, they're getting our videos. So,
well, that's what I figured,
right.
But like, I'm not to the point where I'm anywhere near close to monetization. So maybe if I got further in there, I'd go in there and mess with them.
Yeah, if you ever get monetized though, just remember you're not gonna make money off of those.
Well, in my opinion, I think when once you hit that 1,000 subscriber point, you can kind of go back and just unlist all those under 100 videos, and it won't really matter.
Yeah, yeah. I
Cause
mean,
like it, like
we've
that's
left every video up, so I mean it's on the channel. It's not getting monetized now. Well, I mean it's monetized, but the artist is getting the money, not us. So, I mean it is what it is. Learned our lesson on that shit. That's right. You know, I mean we're paying shit. I don't even know, have like $50 a month, I think, for Epidemic. But shit, we got 4 channels to cover, so
yeah. I was seeing one that was like $10 a month, and you could use it for any of your accounts as long as you linked them in your subscription.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
was like, that's cool because that'll cover your YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everything else.
yeah, it does. But we
Yeah,
got the, I think we got the commercial plan because we got 4 different separate channels. I mean, hell, that's where all my rain and shit come from. The Sounds channel is off of Epidemic.
yeah, I've been meaning to find your other channels because I know you have. I'm guessing this one for trucking and the one for slot machines.
Yeah, we got this one. It unfiltered has nothing to do with trucking whatsoever. I don't have a trucking
It's
channel
vlogging.
at all.
It's vlogging.
Yes, yeah, it's a vlogging channel. And
Which
then
that's kind of how I run mine.
and then we got a slot channel. She has her channel that she does a lot of mental health stuff on that one. And then I have the Sounds channel. And if you go to Unfiltered's channel, go to the About page. All the other 3 channels
Yeah.
are listed there.
I always
So,
forget to do that for stuff like that. I always forget that you can usually connect your channels that way. Which when I did find your slot channel, I was looking for like a poker chip or some kind of like Las Vegas themed thing when I was making your bracelets, but I couldn't find any that didn't look gaudy or weren't like $100 for a little piece of molded like nickel.
yeah.
And I'm
yeah.
like I'm not at that point where I'm just gonna drop like $100 on this tiny little bead sized accent. Which trust me, if I got into that, there are so many beads and stuff that I found that are cool like that. Like Amazon is just full of them.
Right.
eBay's a better place to go though, because you actually get smaller businesses where you can get a better quality uh, bead or hook or figurine or whatever you want to call it, because they're all like handmade instead of just mass produced.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's where all our channels are. If you go to our About page on Unfiltered or whatever, and then all the channels are listed there.
Yeah.
Trying to get her channel up and going. She's got, I think, 43 or 46 subscribers now, and she puts out a fucking shit ton of content, and it's not picking up.
I feel you.
Mental health
I don't.
is a stigma against people.
It's a little bit of a touchy subject right now. It is a touchy subject right now.
Yeah, but she puts out some damn good content.
I'm trying to figure out how I've hit 60. Like, are these like spam bot kind of subscriptions, or just people that just kind of find me quick wit and then don't come back?
Yeah, just probably people in the community, I'm sure.
Nah, this is true, which I do appreciate it because, like, hey, it is that encouragement to keep going. But when you're a route driver, yeah, I'm an over the road route driver, but I'm still just a route driver. There's not a lot to see.
No. I mean, we picked up the majority of our subscribers from our accident that's posted on our channel. I mean, it's got over 1 million views on it now, and when I first posted it, we had like 14 subscribers. And then when it started taking off, it went from, I think we had 30 subscribers at the time, went from 30 to like 1,200 in a matter of a month.
Now, see,
So,
that's what's funny. I have had my biggest views on shorts, which I'll be the first to tell you I hate a short. I hate a short with passion, especially for the people I like watching that put out like those 30, 45-minute videos. And they consistent, maybe not like a series of videos, but like they had a video about something and they're like 30, 40 minutes, if not every other day or at least once a week. And then they go to shorts and I'm like, why are you teasing me like this? Why are you teasing me and throwing me these notifications for a 30-minute short that's just a grab from a video that you've already posted basically?
well, we do shorts, but we make them. I mean, the only time I pulled out a short out of a video is from the Sounds channel, and then because it's kind of hard to make a short out of the sound, but whatever. But when we do a short, I mean, she does shorts on her channel more than anything else, and she'll just
It is how you
record
draw
a
them in.
video. Yeah, and she'll just record a video real quick and then put it up as a short. And it's usually about what she's going to be talking about on her next video. So
I've done that a couple times with my useless knowledge things, like when I did the Terminator.
yeah.
Which like that's another thing. Like I've got tons of little facts, but it's like that's a really dull, stupid fact. It's not worth sharing. It's not what I would call entertaining fact. And then I watch a bunch of channels that I'm like, I knew that, but then I'm like, I don't want to steal their thunder by posting something like right after seeing it.
No, steal their thunder, man. Steal their thunder. I mean, hell,
but I don't like the thought of being a bandwagon person.
The gurus that teach how to do YouTube, they always say if something's working for somebody else, make it work for you as well. Just put it in your own way.
This is true. Which is usually like when I did that. I think I did a video on the A10 Warthog. I threw it back to like the fact that I just watched the video from Fat Electrician. Now that is a guy that's worth watching for the useless knowledge that he comes up with, but it's not so much useless knowledge, just facts from being in the service.
Yeah. Yeah, but like if you see something that's working for somebody else, shit, use that idea.
Yeah, I've thought about it because I did that one also with the Neil deGrasse Tyson clip I saw scrolling Facebook about the horses.
Yeah, I watch him all the time.
Oh, Star Talk or Starlink or whatever with Chuck.
Star Talk, yeah. I watch that all the time.
Once he got Chuck on there, man, that was perfect. He started out with a chick that was kind of a comedian, but she didn't click with him like Chuck does. Oh my God, Chuck is hilarious.
Yeah.
Which that's another one that I keep seeing little clippets, and I'm like, I knew that, but like that gives me all the little detailed tidbits that I didn't remember or I couldn't think of. So it's like, well, like, which is funny because like I hear all these videos and I'm like, I knew that. Like I've seen that somewhere, and that just kind of reassures the fact that that's an actual fact and not just something I heard somewhere.
Yeah, I like really where it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because that's where I really got a bunch of my useless knowledge. I used to just sit and have Discovery Channel or something playing in the background, or I would just binge watch Discovery Channel because there was nothing else entertaining to watch because it was regular TV or the occasional time we had cable and it's news or PBS crappy educational channels that, oh good Lord, I've never liked those. I'm sorry, but I hate when they talk to the screen like they're talking to the people. I get that it's for little kids, but it gets on my nerves. Right. Like, it drives me crazy. Like I understand what they're doing. They're trying to They're trying to create that interactive, getting the kid to kind of like pay attention better. But it's like, oh my god, it makes me feel stupid. Oh, like I didn't like it when I was younger. But yeah, Fat Electrician, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I think there's like two or three other people that I watch regularly that like their channels aren't based on like random facts. They're just based on like a type of theme that just happens to be like, here's a little nugget. Here's a little nugget you never thought of.
Yeah, I stumbled across a channel called the Y Files, and I've been binge listening to that shit like every fucking day. I mean, I'm almost through all those videos in just like a week and a half.
Like WHY.
Yeah, the Y Files,
Okay.
WHY.
Okay. That sounds like a good one.
Yeah, it's a lot of conspiracy theory shit that he talks about and debunks, and if it's, I don't know, you just have to listen to it. It's pretty fucking cool. A lot of space and alien shit and shit like that.
My Facebook feed's full of those right now with the what are they called, the nationals, where the people are like, I don't have to have a license because I'm not a driver, I'm a
Oh yeah,
traveler.
yeah,
I'm like, you guys, oh my god, you like, oh, like I'm like, that cop just wants to hit you in the face. He just
right.
wants to hit you in the face. That and the oh, what is the other one that keeps popping up in my feed? A bunch of the people that are arguing with flat earthers keep popping up, and I'm like, what did I click on that brought this about? Like, what did I click on? Uh,
Yeah, I watched something on the flat Earth just the other day. It was trying to debunk the theory of the flat Earth theory.
my favorite part about that, then when they get to talking about, well, the you're trying to say the Earth's round, and then they'll talk about like back in like the 60s and 70s with those antennas that had to have line of sight.
Right.
That one's one I'm like, it doesn't mean physical line of sight, you numbnut. It just means no large dense obstructions. And then they have that argument. Well, if the planet's round, then why doesn't it drop like it's supposed to? And I'm like, it's called terrain. It's called terrain. Do you not know geography? The planet is not a smooth marble. There is hills and valleys and canyons and fucking mountains. It's not a freaking marble. That is one that always gets me. I'm like, I'm yelling at my screen at the point when they start talking like, well, it doesn't drop like it's supposed to. I'm like, oh. Which that's kind of funny because I think my Tuesday video, I was talking about the Parthenon. Do you know much about the Parthenon?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Did you know it's made to look perfectly square, but it's not?
I did not know that.
Yes, when it was built, I forget where I got this from, but it was a documentary specifically on the Parthenon. There isn't a 90-degree angle in the building, if I remember right. Like all the angles are like obtuse, or the other one, whatever that means, where they're more or less than 90, so that from a distance it looks perfectly square because of the optical illusion. If something's perfectly square, it looks off, or something to that effect. And
Gotcha.
the biggest thing that in the documentary they were showing to show that is that if you were to go to the front of the Parthenon and them steps, right where they square off in the front, if you were to go to the one side to the other, and you were to take like a book or a piece of wood and you were to hold it above the edge of the stone, and you slowly came down, you would lose sight of it before it got below the edge because it makes a curve. That front stone is ever so slightly curved.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I forget the rest of it, but I was watching a documentary about the Parthenon. Like it was talking about everything from the origin of its name to the incident where it was almost destroyed. Which that one's a fun little tidbit too. I don't remember when it was, but at one point it was used as an armory, and they were storing gunpowder. And the reason it was destroyed is because a stray flame arrow uh, got in there and hit the gunpowder reserves and blew up.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, that I don't remember when it was. It was still back in at least medieval times, so it was a while ago when it happened. I don't know who Welcome Back Otter is, but you're on something if you think that. Yeah, the mythology behind how it got its name was cool too.
Right.
There's a whole fable for that. Which I've thought about making a genre of like just going back and relearning my my ologies and just kind of going off that because there's a lot of neat, useless knowledge from there that's somewhat factual. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, oh, another tidbit. I was watching Star Talk today when I was on my one of my breaks, and they were talking about how the planets in the solar system are named after the Roman gods, but the moons are named after the Greek counterparts that interacted with the gods, and I forgot about that.
Yeah, I've heard something about that before.
Yeah, all the planets are named after the Roman gods. That's why it's Venus, Jupiter, Mars, Saturn. Those are all Roman gods, which are just the Roman equivalent of the Greek gods. Because during that whole assimilation between the two, everything got altered. Which there was a really good book about that I read in high school, the Percy Jackson. They fucked that movie up. Oh my god, they fucked that movie up. But the books are really good and really close to the real lore. They don't stray far from the lore. You hitting the city traffic or you just on the interstate where there's backup?
I don't know what's going on here. It shouldn't be like this. I mean, I'm on the north side of Seattle, but
Oh hell, you really are up there.
yeah, I was 70 miles away from Canada when I got loaded.
Fuck.
They got a lane closed right here. That's what's going on.
Oh.
Truck broke down, looks like.
Everybody thought that they were going to fall off the edge of the earth at the end of that time period, Carter. They also thought the earth was the center of the universe. Oh, I wish I could make this full screen. And like lose the comments so I could see what's on your screen.
Oh, I'm out of the traffic now.
Yeah. Oh. My bad. I was reading it in a hurry. Cotter, like kind of like otter, but with a C. Yeah, that's the last thing I want to do is get into flat Earth
Well,
arguments.
yeah. If the Earth is flat, where the fuck is the edge at? All the edges, any of the edges. Where the fuck are they at? Why hasn't nobody found them yet?
Well, I know a little bit about the theory behind that. If you're willing to listen,
Well, I mean, I know there's supposed to be a fucking wall, a damn
wall of
ice wall,
ice.
but
Yeah, it's supposed to be a wall of ice.
Why ain't people climbing that fucking ice wall? Where are they at? I mean, hell, they climb the fucking ice walls in fucking Alaska and shit. Why don't they fucking climb that ice wall at the edge of the earth? Where's that documentation at? Why ain't the adventurous doing that shit? I mean, that would be a fucking hell of an adventure to climb an ice wall at the edge of the earth, wouldn't it?
True. And I love the arguments about the Apollo mission not being real because the flag waved in vacuum. Because there's no wind in a vacuum. Oh, I'm like, I figured that one out the first time I saw that video. It's because of the inertial force from planting the flag. It's gonna wiggle. And in a vacuum, wiggles are slow. They're not fast. Oh, when I saw that, when I about hit myself in the head, smacking my forehead so hard.
I'm still not totally convinced on the moon landing. I mean, yes and
Oh,
no.
I don't want to go there.
I mean, is it possible? Yes. I'm not saying that it's not possible.
I
I'm
can
not saying
understand the doubt since we've only did what 3 missions and they were all in like the 70s. And we've not gone back since. I can understand that doubt. There was like 3 or 5 missions. One of them had to be aborted. One of them was a test of theory, and they never actually went to the surface.
I know 9/11 wasn't. I mean, it was real, obviously, but it was a planned thing. That is
Right, Rick
that is a
Pig? Where'd
fact.
the moon rocks come from?
Well, like I said, I'm not totally convinced it was a sham, but
And I'm at least to the point where I'm like, they went into fucking outer space. There's not a giant dome. Technically, they're not demons. They're Nephilims, Cotter. They would be Nephilims at this point, not demons. Which that there's a whole like medieval mythology thing behind that too. Well, not they're not the same thing, but like I can co-align the beliefs of that period with things like another really interesting fact that I always thought was like up there with my like that is hard to explain. Every culture on the planet, I mean every culture from the North Pole to the South Pole, even though people don't live there, but like you get my point. There have been mentions or uh notations in mythology or history that dragons were real. And I came across a thing, I think it was probably a couple years back, that we're talking about the reason there wouldn't be any proof of them anymore is because they probably had bones like birds, and bird bones don't fossilize, they deteriorate because they're hollow.
the reason why you can't feed an animal a bird like chicken because they splinter. because they're hollow.
Hmm. Usually it's because they're cooked. I've heard that if it's cooked, bones will splinter. Uncooked bones aren't really that bad. But we're talking about domesticated dogs, not
Yeah.
wolves and coyotes, where they've kind of got to the point where they know to gnaw that shit to dust before they swallow it. Yeah, that's one theory. I'm like, I could get behind that. That's something I could believe that dragons were real. Maybe not all the claims of their abilities in the sense of breathing fire and everything else, but I'm like, there was something. There had to have been something. And it only makes sense that it would be another animal in the ecosystem because every country or well, every continent has a different depiction of them. That's the word I was looking for, depiction. Which would make sense because like there's no one same species that looks exactly the same on every continent. Hell, look at spiders. The further south you go towards Australia, the bigger they get. I want to get a dragon tattoo on my back, Rig Pig. I've got a yin yang on my shoulder blades, and I want to do a dragon and a tiger with them.
You got a dragon, not moon rocks.
Right? I was like, I understood that, but clarification is nice. Uh, there's another philosophy that I find really interesting about the yin yang, which a lot of people blow that one out of proportion, but really it's just a symbol of balance. And it holds true for everything because one of the fundamental symbolisms of it is man and woman, good and evil, light and dark. So that's always been a symbol that's always just kind of spoke to me since I was little. I've always had a thing for yin and yang. And I want to say I remember seeing a Asian movie or an Oriental movie or something about twins and Geminis and yin and yang. And it kind of fits with me because I'm a June baby, so I'm a Gemini. In Greek mythology, zodiac, and then in Oriental zodiacs, I'm a monkey. Well, twin monkeys. So that works there too. Or well, Gemini is the twins, monkey is the animal. So yeah, I'm twin monkeys. I can't steal James's thunder like that. I can't steal James's thunder like that.
That's funny.
Well, my birthday's not until June 8th, so which is why I was like, wow. When May 8th hit, I'm like, I have a month. I have a month.
How old you gonna be?
I'm gonna be 31.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. My daughter's gonna be 32. Yeah.
Which the part I hate about it is I felt like I just graduated high school. Like I still feel like I'm that young kid that some things I need an adult to help me adult with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't feel old enough to have a 31, 32-year old. It's fucking insane.
Well, here's the other thing that's hitting me. I want to have kids, and I'm 30. 31. Like I kind of need to jump on that.
Yeah, you're gonna be an old man.
I know.
I started early, got it over and done with.
I was in that podunk country town where half my graduating class was knocked up and couldn't walk, and that kind of left an impression on me of I may not want to just jump into this. So I'm thinking that's kind of what's made it to where I'm not that gung ho. Let's just be bunny rabbits until it happens. Which is something I wanted, something my girlfriend wants. That
Yeah,
whole
I didn't start till I was 19, but you got it over and done with. 3 kids by the age of 24, 25. I think I was 25.
well, I've always been a little bit of a late bloomer when it comes to anything with the stereotype of what a guy should be. Because I was raised by 3 women, 4 women, and my dad wasn't in the picture a lot. And then I had somewhat of a stepdad for like the last 4 or 5 years of high school. So like family structure is kind of a touchy subject with my history. Oh, I don't want to be on Narc's fucking radar. It's bad enough that Shorts threw out a couple videos when I was calling myself special. Uh,
I just don't understand why people can't all just fucking get
like,
along. Just quit all the bullshit. It gets you nowhere.
yeah, that's the other part of like all the whole trucking YouTube stuff that I just do not understand. Just the YouTube community in general that we seem to run around with. Oh wow, really? I didn't know you were that old. I'll be honest, I've not really watched any of your channel. I keep forgetting that the 4 or 5 people that actually communicate with me are actual video posters too. It doesn't help that I sit in a truck for 10 to 12 hours a day and I don't communicate with many people.
I don't either.
That is
I mean,
one
I'll
thing.
call James every once in a while, but that's not very often.
That's the one thing I have to agree with James. It is miserable to not have anybody to talk to. But like that's something I've just gotten used to from a young age because I was an awkward kid that nobody really got made friends with. So I was always sitting in the corner reading a book. Like I don't think I had an actual group of like cliquish friends until I was in high school, and they were all at least a year above me, so I never had classes with them.
Yeah, when Diane's working, I'm not talking to her. Shit, I'm not talking to anybody else. I'm YouTubing.
I feel you there. I got to find a new set of people that actually post decent length videos. Which that's the other reason I kind of post at least 30 minutes, if not more. I hate that one I posted last weekend was an hour and a half almost. Or was
Yeah, I
it an
haven't
hour?
watched that
I
one
think I
yet.
trimmed it down from an hour and a half. I don't talk a lot in the RC ones, but like I actually show you the pieces so you have a better idea. And the few times that I'm talking to you. I'm like, hey, this is what it looks like. They're not as small as you'd think. Like the smallest thing about them is like the M2 screws, and I've only got like 1 or 2 things that use those screws. Otherwise, they're decent length. They're decent sizes. Like the only time it gets really teeny tiny is when you get into the transmissions and the gears.
Yeah, my eyes are shot. I'd have to definitely use my reading glass to put that shit together, though.
Eh, most of it is decently sized. You might have to have a well lit room, but I don't think you need readers unless you're reading the instructions. But most of them have pictures. That helps,
There you go. Can't put shit together if it ain't got pictures.
right? And the other thing is when it comes to the RCs, what really got me into that was a guy called RC Sparks. He's a guy from Canada. He was the guy that who was it that came on James when they were trying to get him to do the auto blow? Remember that? The
Yeah,
guy that was
yeah,
trying to talk
yeah.
to James about that. That guy was talking about how what is his name? I forget his name because like his screen name there for a while when he did DJ stuff was Medic. I forget his real name. Aaron. His real name's Aaron, and he did a whole video. It was right after he kind of took a leave of absence for about 6 months, where he was moving from the west side of Canada to the east side of Canada. Like he literally went from like I think he was north of like Dakota, one of the Dakota. He was like north of the North Dakota, and he went all the way to the furthest east you can go and still be in Canada, over in like Prince Wales Island or whatever. So like now he actually has weather. He actually has seasons. It's not just all winter or not winter.
Right.
But yeah, he was the one that got me. I've been watching him religiously since I was in like junior high. Cause like he was a guy that just literally he did DJ in there for a while, and then when his RC channel blew up, he went to doing that. And then I watched his kid grow up because his kid's like 10 now. And like that's a guy that I'm like, I have followed him long enough. I'm like, he almost feels like family, even though I've never met the person.
That's what it is. Read Welcome Back's comment.
Yeah, I saw that. I am a rambler.
That explains. That explains because I like listening to you just fucking ramble on. And
I have been told I have a voice that I could like read books to people. Like I have
that's
almost
what
like a
it is.
narrating voice.
Till you start blowing the fucking horn. Holy shit.
Oh, it's not that loud. It's a Cascadia horn. It's under the damn cab.
But I'm fucking driving down the road and I hear that fucking horn blowing. It's like, what the fuck's going on around me?
Well,
Here I am looking back and forth and saying, what the hell?
Are you playing it through the truck speakers?
Yeah.
Okay, I can see how it is. I can see how it is. I haven't done it too bad much anymore. Cause after you said that, I'm like, okay, I can understand how that would throw somebody off driving. But like that's how I keep my sanity. I have come to the conclusion like I get irked by people driving down the road, whether it be other truck drivers that are being dumbasses and speeding through construction zones, or just cars that'll fucking bob and weave and get impatient because two trucks are passing, and they're like, we're gonna cut between you two that are like barely a car width apart to cut back in front of the guy that we're trying to get around when he's finally caught up to the dude in front of him. And I'm like, you people are morons. You people are morons and you're trying to die.
And I'm not watching it, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. And all of a sudden, I hear this fucking horn. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, Rig Pig, it's a Cascadia single horn, and I finally found it after looking for it, like after the first year driving this truck. Because the first year driving this truck, I'll be honest, I was like white knuckling everywhere once I got on my own, because I wasn't on a route to start with. They were sending me everywhere. I went from everywhere from PA to northwestern Missouri for like the first month of driving. And then after that, I was just trying to keep my nose clean and make sure I didn't get into any trouble with scales or tickets. Knock on wood. But yeah, I finally found that damn horn. It's one of those single plastic air horns bolted up under the driver's seat on the driver's side of the Cascadia.
Well, that's where most of them are. That's where this one
Yeah.
is. I'm in a T680. Piece of shit truck.
I'll be honest. After being in like the 4 or 5 different trucks I've been in my 2.5 years. Oh, what? No, I'm almost on 3 years. That's right. Yeah. No, June. I got hired for school in June. No, it was. I think I'm on my 3 years. I think this will be my 3rd year. The end of the beginning of this month or beginning of June. I can't remember. But yeah. I gotta say, I don't like any of the other trucks. I like this Cascadia. It's, in my opinion, it's got the biggest bunk area. Now the layout, I don't like the layout. I hate the layout where you've got the cabinet, and the cabinet is the only vent in the whole damn bunk. That's where I like the Volvos. I love how the Volvo has a vent on either end of the bunk, on your head or your feet, so it actually circulates.
I
hate
the
their
Cascadia.
Yeah. And then the Kenworths, oh my God, I wasn't, when my water pump went out like 2 weeks ago, just like Will Burners just did, which I found that was funny. And I posted, I was at like 444,000 miles. What miles? I was trying to see if he'd put his, and I'm like, we can start a. Is that about when they're going out on trucks? Because his is a 2020 and this is a 2020. But yeah, something about those Kenworths, they have you eating the door on the driver's side, and you're eating the dash.
It's the most
like
uncomfortable truck that I've ever fucking
been in. And
I've been in a lot of I've been driving 24 years. I've been in a lot of trucks.
Don't get me started with that stupid cup holder in the door that digs into your calf. You know what I'm talking about?
No, this one don't have it, but it's uncomfortable. A very fucking uncomfortable truck.
Yeah, the oh my God, I think the one I was in was like, I think it was like a 16. Pretty sure it was a 16. Yeah, it was. You're eating the door, which that's the only perk with the Kenworths and the Volvos. That door is actually designed to be your armrest. I like that. That's the one thing I don't like about the Cascadia. Like the door is not your armrest. It is not comfortable to like put your elbow on the door. But like it seems like they make you eat the door, and then your seat is slightly offset turn to the right, so that like you have full visibility without having to like extremely turn your neck. So that's why they kind of shove you into the doors, because you're not sitting straight forward. You're sitting slightly offset turn to the right, because the dash fits that contour.
Yeah, and I hated that. This T680 is a slanted hood, right? So I love sitting on the floor. I don't like air in the seat. Never have. This is the only truck that I've ever been in that I've had to have air in my seat. Just fucking see over the damn hood.
See that I'm a big boy. I've got to have air in the seat. Otherwise, I'm slamming into the floor. But yeah, that is. You there? My signal getting shitty.
Car needs to go.
You know what I need to do? I need to get James's book. I need to get James's book and actually read it all, since he won't ever get to it. Hang on, you're breaking up. What was that?
He hadn't read it. He hadn't read on that book for a while. It's been about 9 months, 2 years since he has read a chapter.
I thought he read some back in February or March. That one of those nights. Like right as the
maybe
last channel
maybe he
hit
did.
monetization.
Yeah, maybe he did. Yeah, maybe he did.
And I keep telling him he needs to go talk to Wes down the road from him because Wes is looking for a truck just like James has. And Wes doesn't just work on cars; he works on trucks and construction equipment to a point. Which, if you don't know who Wes is, watch Wes work.
Yeah,
That's a
I've
cool
watched him
guy.
before.
I watch him just to listen to his commentary of what he's doing because it's witty and he has those off comments that are just hilarious. He did a side channel where he was doing just filler things where he reforged a knife like out of like blank steel. One of them was him showing how he made a squirrel stew. Like he field dressed the squirrel and everything in the video. Another one, he was doing deer. He was field dressing a deer in the video. And I'm like, how'd that get through YouTube without getting flagged? Which I'm not saying it should have, but I'm surprised it didn't because he's sitting there field dressing a deer. Like you see the blood and everything. And then here lately, he just rebuilt a milling machine, which oddly enough, I know how to use a mill. I know how to use a lathe. I can't read the instruments, but I know enough how to use them. That was something I took in high school shop class because my school still offered that. It wasn't like an actual course. It was more of like a, hey, this is a easy extra credit. And I believe I was the only person in that class that actually learned how to use all the machines in the shop.
Yeah, we had woodworking in school, but I never did take it.
Well, my school had a it was an off-site vocational college they sent us to. It was like 30 minutes down the road from the high school. And they did culinary arts, welding. They had automotives, but the years that I was going there, they lost funding for that one. So all they had was culinary arts, wood shop, welding shop, and nursing. And then the year I graduated, they got automotives back. And I'm like, son of a bitch. Because it was that kind of place where you could have brought your car up and worked on it for class.
And that's what our Votech was. We had a Votech like that too. I had my first car worked on there. It was a '72 Datsun pickup. I had it worked on there.
Oh wow, Datsun. Wow, that's an old truck.
Yeah.
My first car was a 02 Dodge Neon. Just about all the stuff I know about cars, I learned on that car. And the only reason I got my first truck was because my solenoid or my solenoid control or whatever it was on the Neons, like the thing that made the transmission shift went out. Well, Rig Pig, if you're as old as you're saying, you could have gotten by back in the day with an 8th grade education. And actually made something of yourself. Nowadays, the further we go in the future, man, it seems like the worse off we're getting because nobody can get by with just their skill alone. They've got to have credentials and proof and somebody else saying that, yeah, you learned this.
I'll just become a truck driver. Fuck it. 3 weeks and you're driving.
Well, I had 4 weeks of school and 6 weeks of training driving. So
yeah, I had 3.5 weeks of school, and then a month in the truck with a trainer, and I was out on my own. Been on my own ever since. Well, besides,
I wasn't saying you didn't, Rig Pig. I'm just saying you could have, even though you didn't, because I don't know what you've done. Like I said, I've not followed you enough. But the time period, you didn't have to have all the stuff you have to have nowadays. You could get by with what what was it back in the day? Most kids stopped going to school at what, 5th grade, or was it junior high?
Yeah, it was like 8th grade. You hear a
Yeah,
lot of people say 8th grade. So
so rig big rig, that's about average for back in the day when people were like, hey, all I need to know is reading, writing, and a decent amount of math. Yeah, and I love that little neon I had. Everybody in town knew me too, because I think it was my first 6 months of having my license. I
yeah,
don't take this
he's
wrong.
only 4 years older than me. Shit, I'm 51.
Don't take this wrong, Rig Pig, but like you have that old soul mentality from the way we've talked. You've got that soul of somebody that's probably another 40 years older. No bullshit and just straight to the point with some common sense. But yeah, I was driving through a strip mall parking lot there where I lived, and a dude with a drop hitch on his truck stopped short on the other side of a speed bump on me. And the reason he stopped is because somebody from the sidewalk was flagging him down to talk to him. Well, the person waving their arm caught my attention, and I just did that whole autopilot, just kind of giving it a little, just keep it putting through the parking lot. And I gave it just a little extra gas to get over the speed bump, and my front bumper and my hood just took the full dent of this dude's hitch, and it snapped off one of the stabilizer tabs off my radiator. Didn't cause it to leak anything, didn't mess with any of the fins. It just broke off the little tab that holds it in place, so it no longer pressurized. So that was the first fiasco in learning cars, because I think it was late October, early November when this happened. And so I was changing a radiator in a car that sats about an inch off the ground just before the first snowfall of the year. Yeah, that was fun. It was cold. It was fun.
Yeah, yeah. And no, Rick Pick, that ain't fucking old.
Yeah, after that, everybody knew my car because I had the dented hood and the cracked bumper. And then, like any person does, you drive it for a couple more years, and then something else happens. I got into another fender bender that took out the passenger side headlight, and then it really fucked up my bumper. So it was stitched together with baling wire and zip ties, so it looked like it had stitches. And everybody went to calling that car Frankenstein because I kept keeping it going back on the road.
Hell, I got zip ties on my fucking pickup now. I got a 2001 GMC pickup, and it's got zip ties on the damn headlights, both of them. I have to send you a picture of that shit.
Hey, if it works. My first truck was a 98 Mazda B3000. It had cardboard wedged into the headlights to keep them aligned because the adjustment screws wouldn't keep it aligned. And I bought it that way, and I never did anything to it, and it did fine. I hated driving that truck for the first month. It had no radio because the people that apparently had the truck before me, I guess, had an aftermarket radio. And instead of unplugging it like any sane person would do, they cut the plug off. So, yeah, that was my first fiasco into learning wiring so that I could junkyard the plug I needed and graft it back into the wire harness. Yeah. That month of driving that truck was horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, I don't drive my GMC in the fucking at night because
I
those
hope
headlights are
not.
shit. Those
I
headlights are
hope
shit.
not. Well,
They're just
heck,
there so they don't fall out.
this nowadays you can go on Amazon and get a set of headlights for like $100. Or
I just
is
drive. I just drive my other pickup. I got a 14 Chevy, so I just drive that one. Hardly ever drive my GMC.
heck, I've got a '04 Ford Ranger that I'm the third owner, and it's got just a little over like 200,000 miles, and I'm the third owner. I was like, when I got that truck, I was like, this is gonna be the nicest thing I ever own, because like the guy I got it from was the guy that got me into driving trucks, and he was the kind of guy that if he heard it make a squeak, he replaced everything. He didn't just replace the part. He replaced the part and what it was connected to. So when I bought that truck, it had just had a transmission rebuilt and replaced. And that was like 7 years ago. So I bought the truck with a just shy of 200,000 miles on the motor and a fresh built transmission.
Yeah, I think I got 180,000 on my GMC, but I hardly ever drive that so much anymore.
Yeah, I hardly
Matter of
drive
fact,
my
last time I drove it, I took shit to the dump, and that's shit.
that's
Probably
that's the last thing I did with my truck, because where I live in apartments. I've kind of got a deal with the landlady where I help her haul off junk. And that's usually the only time I drive my Ranger is when I got to take stuff to the dump for her. And because it sits so much, I'm like, I got to get someone to just drive this thing around about once a week, because it sat in my company's yard for like the first 2 years of me driving. I just drove it to the yard and parked it. But after it getting broken into and all my shit stolen, I'm like, I'm not leaving a car there anymore. So now I have to have someone come get me when I get home and take me when I leave.
And I told myself I'll never get rid of that GMC. I mean, I have no idea why. I just love that fucking truck, and I'll never get rid of it.
I don't see me getting rid of my Ranger either, because it's paid for. It's paid for. It's reliable. Other than right now, it has a starter issue, but it's a manual, so all I got to do is park it on a hill and you can pop the clutch.
There you go.
That was when I was looking for a truck. That was my like three things that I was like, I want a truck, but it's got to be a manual, it's got to be 4-wheel drive, and it's got to have at least an extended cab. And that Ranger fit all of them. 5-speed 4-wheel drive with the extended cab with the suicide door or backwards doors or whatever you call them. Not a lot of room in the back, but enough that if you had to cram in a couple people, you could, or get a couple groceries and not have them in the bed. Oh, don't get me started with the mall crawler pavement princesses rig pig.
Now my 14's got about 150,000 miles on it.
There's nothing worse than I hate is a pickup truck that's just. I hate a lowered pickup truck. I hate a lowered pickup truck worse than I hate a squatted one. Because I'm like, you literally just it's like shooting a horse in the leg, lowering a pickup. Though there are some occasions where I'm like, it kind of looks good. Like what are they? The old Nissan hardbody pickups. That's about the only truck I could see someone lowering and it actually looked good. Just because it wasn't a full, it wasn't even a half size. It was a mini pickup. And then the following of people that I've gotten in with for Rangers on Facebook, every time I hear somebody with a 2-wheel drive Ranger, they want to put a lift kit on. I'm like, you're retarded. You're retarded. I can't yell at these people. I can't yell at these people, but you're retarded. Or when I see the comments are like, how big of a tire can I put on a stock level blah blah blah, and I'm like, do you not have Google? Like, that's the other thing. I had to stop commenting on groups I'm in because all these people will ask those obvious questions that are like a 2-second Google search away from. I'm like, have you even tried looking for the information? Like, I wouldn't fault you if you said, hey, I've Googled it. I haven't found a clear answer. Can someone that's done it give me a clear answer? I can understand that. But no, it's like, hey, does anybody know this? Like, do you want us to show you how to do it as well as tell you?
Yeah, some people just don't. They don't research shit.
It makes me feel like an old man when it happens, though. I'm like I'm up there with the old guy that's yelling at the kids to get off his grass. At least that's the way it makes me feel sometimes. Yeah. Well, that's another thing. I have too many hobbies I want to get into that are expensive, but all hobbies are expensive. Between my RCs, my Ranger, the Outback I just got that I don't get to drive because I'm never home.
I don't really have any hobbies. I mean, shit, YouTube, I guess, is basically my hobby now.
Yeah.
Making videos, editing videos, and shit.
Well, I guess my hobbies aren't so much hobbies as just things I wish I could have done as a kid, but my family never had the money, or I wasn't into that kind of experiences yet. And the biggest thing right now that's keeping me from doing anything with my truck is because I don't have a garage. If I had a garage where I could leave things apart, I'd be working on my truck every weekend. I come from a long family of grease monkeys. Oh yeah, I know wives are expensive.
This is true. Oh my god, very true.
I don't remember that one. I thought that was is that Loki's son, the eight-legged horse? Is that Loki's son too? That Thor rides? Because I always remember Thor having the goats, the chariot. I forget about the horse. But I've lucked out with my girlfriend. She's not that kind of person that buys useless things so much as like she's the kind of person that when she spends money, she's usually stocking up on things. So I think I've kind of dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, I don't see Diane buying a whole lot of shit like that either. You know, I mean, she can, but she just don't. She'll buy some
Yeah,
clothes every once in a while, but she don't
and
buy
that's
useless shit.
that's what's funny. My girlfriend's like, cause she'll buy like plants and stuff. Because she likes that's her spot is our porch where she has all her plants. And like whenever I see her bring home a plant or a thing of seeds, I'm like, "Are you serious?" And first thing out of her mouth is, "I could be buying purses." I'm like, "At least you could resell those for money." And then she just glares at me because that's kind of how I see where my hobbies with my RCs. Am I gonna get what I spent on them out of them? Probably not, unless I find a sucker that's new to the RC group and I make it look like it's a bigger bang for your buck deal than it is, or maybe my guns, which they're nothing special, but you can always get money for guns.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
What's
I
that?
guess she's got a coach first. A coach first.
Is it a real coach or is it one of those flea market coaches? Uh oh. Did we lose you? Did we lose you unfiltered? Yeah, Rig Pig. That makes sense when you said Odin. I remember Odin riding a horse. I didn't remember. Ah, yeah, I think we lost Rig Pig. I didn't remember Thor riding a horse. I remember him having the chariot with the goats. There, maybe I'll stop blocking the camera with my finger. I've never really been one to give vehicles names. I'll call it her though, and I'll joke about names, but I've never had something I stick with. Like I was gonna call my Ranger Fang from that movie about the boy and the wolf up in Alaska, or White Fang or White Claw or whatever. I think it was White Fang or Silver Fang or something. Because my Ranger's silver. If it's Odin riding the horse, that is Loki's son that he birthed. Read between those lines. Yeah. Have that argument with nowadays people. And Loki. Yeah. Loki's just that wrench in the cog. No, that's Balto. You're thinking Balto, which that's another. That movie makes me want to go to New York to see the monument to it. That's Balto. That's the one based on a true story. That's Balto. The one I'm talking about is more it's kind of like the real world adaptation of Balto, but it's more of like a Hallmark movie thing. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called White Fang. It's kind of like what's that movie about the dude and the horse that races in the Arabian desert? Django, or it's not Django because Django is Django Unchained. That's a good movie. Oh, yeah, it's called White Fang if I remember right. Yeah, I've always wanted to go see that monument in New York for Balto if it's still there. Which I don't think they would move that one, considering its historical properties. Damn it! How do you pin stuff? Well, I don't think there's much you could go woke about with a story about a husky wolf mix that delivered medicine across the what would you call that area? Because it's not a specific place with a name like the southern tundra. It's nothing like that, but yeah. I want to say it's like one of the oldest little monument things in the Central Park. Because like that story is from like the 30s, ain't it? Maybe a little later. They had the telegram with the Morse code and shit. Yeah, the Alaskan wilderness. There you go. But it was a certain section that they mainly used to cover there because man, I've watched that movie so much. Like it went by boat, plane, and then train, but it got to the point where where they were so out in the boonies that nothing but dog sled could get to them in a timely manner because there wasn't a railroad that went there, and I want to say they lived on the coast or the town was set on the coast, but it was the middle of winter, so there was no ships getting in there. Do you know there was a sequel to that movie? Like it was completely different style of animation, but there was two sequels or continuances because I don't know if you can really call it a sequel if it just kind of uses the same characters in the same setting, but like different story. Yeah. Yeah, Diderot, yeah. Or I think it was part origin because they were already doing dog sled races like rallies where it was like uh what is it? Relay races. Like I think it they were doing relay races before, but the Iditarod was like where they got sanctioned and recognized by like the country. Yeah. And I ain't heard nothing about the Iditarod in years. That used to be up there with something they talked about a lot whenever that was coming about. I wonder if they're still doing that. That'd be something interesting to look up. Yeah, there's two continuance movies from Balto. I think they were spaced apart by a couple years because it was Balto and Jenna had puppies. Jenna being I think she was a collie, a red collie. Yeah. Well, can we say squirrel? Well, I can change it. We can go disco. Hey, Dar. Red light's one of those lights where if you have it on, it doesn't affect your night vision. So I just leave it on the red for visibility. Green's another one, but it affects how you see by tampering your night vision, but it's a bright dark light so that it's not completely blinding. You see that comment I was telling Will Burner he should have put his videos going on that driver's lounge if that was a smart TV. Ah, really? Really? Did you see me coming across as that? I ain't no gigolo. This ain't no gigolo. But yeah, I think that's a little bit of a stretch, just a little bit. That I'm gonna have to call that a stretch. Oh, oh. How have I gone 2 hours? How have I gone 2 hours? 2 hours talking about nothing. I guess I'm taking a. Oh, I figured it did, Rig Pig. I remember it used to be something they actually covered, like the Winter Olympics every year, or every other year. Because I can't remember. I think the Iditarad's like a biannually, where it's not every year because of how big it is, or it's like every couple of. That's what my live counter says. An hour and 42 minutes. You might as well call it 2 hours. I had Unfilter on here for a while. He kind of helped me kill out about 45 minutes. Well, I don't know if anybody be hanging on or banging on my door. I usually put up a curtain because I like to take advantage of all the vents in this truck because the two. oh, that's horrible. The Cascadia cab only has the two vents on the closet, so there's no circulation of air. You either freeze your skull off, or you flip over with your head on the passenger side. You freeze your feet off. So I just hang up a sheet on some paracord strung between the cabinets because for as little time as I sit parked for sleeping, moving that curtain for the divide in the middle, it's not worth it. That's I feel like worth putting in for pulling a curtain over. Which part, Dar? We need to get Brian to use his headset. You hear how clear I come through, and I'm not yelling. Well, I imagine she wasn't if she's your ex. That's generally what ex means. I know we've discussed this in his lives. He has one. He just doesn't put it on. Which I guess if he's running his mouth all day with it, I can understand why he doesn't want to wear it. But mine hangs on the hook by my CB most of the day because I don't talk to anybody because I just kind of have like bouts of silence, like I'm a monk taking vows. Yeah, you should get him a little to go bag satchel with a like a mouse and keyboard and a one of those portable displays. That way, if he ever has a situation where he's parked for a couple days, he can actually see things. But then you'd have to give him a you'd have to put him together a tutorial video or a little cue card of how things work. Well, I didn't say you had to put it together. I'm just saying he could put it together and have it. Right, Rig Pig, half a century. That one always threw me up. I always confused century and decade. Uh, well, Dar, don't take this the wrong way, but that's what being a mom usually means. You're taking care of everyone. And a lot of people get used to it, and then they kind of take it for granted and not realize it. But I do agree with you. I understand that. You're 100% true. But I imagine as a mom, you don't do it just because you have to. But if you're gonna do it, make sure you rip it off like a band-aid. You sink or you swim. All right. Well, that was my Wi-Fi connection giving me issues. I think I'm gonna have to call this quits. 10 minutes shy of an actual full hours. 2 hours. But hey, hopefully helped Unfiltered get some miles under the way, and I entertained everybody else. Thanks for coming in those last minutes, Dar. And Rig Big, I'll make sure to check out your videos, which I've been meaning to, but I keep forgetting. Oh, in this truck with the AC, I sleep fine. It's when I'm at home and my AC was out for 3 weeks and it was like 90 degrees. That's when I had trouble sleeping. But yeah, see you later. I might try doing this again on Friday if nobody else is doing something. I'll be home then, and I'll actually have a computer. So, see you, everybody. Oh, Rick, I thought you'd posted some stuff. Yes, Dar. Yes, that's why I was like, and it was during my vacation. That's what really sucked. The heat kicked in during my vacation. So yeah, that was a real kick in the ass. Go home, plan on having a relaxing weekend, and it's 90 degrees for 3 days or 4 days. Like I'm like I want back in my truck, but then I don't. All right, well, bye. Everybody have a good night.